Today I'm going to review to you the 5 biggest investments in my portfolio right now. I'll be sharing with you why I bought each and every of these companies. I'll also be sharing with you what my gains are or my losses, as well as some of the learning points. So as always, smash the like button early as you know I have the goods. And let me start with Tencent. We know Tencent through WeChat, but actually Tencent helps many small businesses in China. And do you know who else helps businesses in Singapore? It is our sponsor for today. If you also like to be an entrepreneur and want to start a business, check out how Osome can help you.
Hello, business owner. Are you tired of dealing with endless financial management? Getting your accounting sorted and handling business finances?
Depending on your size of business, you may need accounting services. For me, I'm now at the startup phase only, which means I mainly needed business registration as well as corporate secretary services. I know this message is not for everyone, but if it is for you, I'm recommending them to you because I'm also an end user, and I was actually very satisfied as to how they actually helped me get my company set up on time. I can get advice directly on what needs to be done. And for anyone starting out, I think that's very valuable. Check out their links below if you'd like them to help you with your business today. My journey with Tencent actually started in June 2024 at around 380 to 400 Hong Kong dollars. You know, if you buy Tencent, you can buy in Hong Kong or you can buy in US. But I chose to buy in Hong Kong. And in Hong Kong, the minimum is 100 shares. Which means also each piece of Tencent is about 7,000 Sing dollars. When it ran up, I averaged up a bit because I value it significantly higher. I traded it a bit and eventually I built up a position which I feel is big enough. Then I waited. Plain and simple as that. And not that this journey has no turbulence, because as you can see it plunged down, correct? That was because Trump actually blacklisted Tencent. So when Tencent stock crashed, I just waited. No need to panic, look elsewhere. And if I had sold Tencent at that panic drop, then I would have missed out on this massive bull leg up, correct? So if you're keen to find out a bit more on Chinese stock, I have a previous video done up here. I do believe even at this current price, Tencent is likely still undervalued. And if you're looking for a trading platform, I'll leave my links below on one that you can use to buy Hong Kong stocks with no commissions. There are also sign-up offers with it. Tencent right now in my position is up about 26%. Let's move on next to the 4th biggest name I have for today, and that's none other than IFAST. IFAST is listed in Singapore, and I started building positions in it around May 2024 at around the $6.80 range. I continued to average up until about $7.40 and built up my position slowly. I do value IFAST significantly higher, and in my mind I can see a price that's more than $10 already, something I've shared before in a previous video also. That's my view on it, so I moved my monies. And even when there was a short seller negative report causing the share price to come down, I disagree with the opinion and continued to average down. Right now, IFAST has record earnings in Singapore and they have turned around their losses for their global banking business. But the key driver is in Hong Kong. They have exceeded their targets for the Hong Kong segment. And if this continues in 2025, I fully expect IFAST to show record profits. While I'm bullish on IFAST, maybe I can also give a balancing point of view. The sentiment on IFAST stock ties in a lot with general equity markets, which means when equity markets go up, people trade more, people invest more. When equity markets go down, people invest less and tend to cut losses. This means their profits will grow in bull markets and shrink in bear markets. So while I'm bullish, I'm also fully aware that if a bear market hits in second half of the year, for example, it is very natural that this share price could come down. So hopefully this balanced point of view helps you understand IFAST a bit better. And right now, my position is big enough in it. I'm up 11% on IFAST. Let's move on to the 3rd biggest holding, which is Mapletree Industrial Trust. I've held this REIT since 2022, so it's been a long while already. And recently I've covered before in previous episodes why I view their recent performance as good, dividends per unit has been going up, and why I disagree with a negative report that highlighted risk in data centers and gave a very low target price. Check these previous videos out, I won't go through them again, but what I share with you is, just now I mentioned about Tencent. When it crashed because Donald Trump blacklisted it, that was actually a fantastic buying opportunity. If my position wasn't fully built, I think I would be buying at that point of time. And next, do you remember when Xi Jinping was nominated as president for life in China and China is uninvestable, Hang Seng actually crashed, and that was actually on hindsight the bottom. Who would have imagined, correct? So when you understand that negative news are sometimes there to trigger panic, at the very least, stay patient. Although sometimes in titles I put crash, 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 hopefully you understand that it's just for search engine optimization. When it crashes, it doesn't mean panic. Right now, my position in Mapletree Industrial Trust is minus 17%. And I also like to give this analogy. Say for example, your house is $1 million and your neighbor decides to sell at minus 17% at $830,000. You know, for housing prices, we price very similar to our neighbors. Should you scold your neighbor for selling at minus 17%? You can't, right? You don't know their situation. Maybe they are going through a divorce and they want to dispose the house quickly. Or maybe the grandchildren inherited the house and have no affiliation, want to dispose it off quickly and separate out the money. You can't control what they want to sell at, but what you can control is how you react. You can choose not to sell at minus 17% and wait for some time to pass before a buyer will offer you your $1 million on your house. So don't worry, stay patient, smash the like button, stay optimistic. And with that, let's move on to the fourth name for today, who is Propnex. Propnex is a company I'm super familiar with. I once made a multi-bagger from it back in COVID days. And I sold it away and stayed patient until very recently. In the last few months, I've been buying Propnex aggressively, from 88 cents all the way to $1. And how I managed to build this position out quickly is I added my new incomes and I sell away Genting to raise more capital into buying stocks of it. You know, very often in comment sections, people don't see the full story and they've disagreed with me. Right or wrong, I think I just have to be brave in understanding my own interpretation of the market. I view Propnex significantly higher also. Recently, Ori at Toa Payoh sold very well. Right now, Elta is going to launch. I'm keen to keep tabs on it. And as always, if you like some updates on the property segments, I have ideas in mind. So as always, smash the subscribe button. Stay tuned for it when I have data points to share with you on this very channel. And again, thank you very much. We've crossed our 60,000 subscribers. I'd like to use this opportunity to show my appreciation to many of you who have been part of my journey so far. Speaking about properties, I've mentioned before, I'm not too sure if you buy a new launch right now that you can sell 3 years later with a clear net gain. Yes, I know market is very optimistic, but I don't share the optimism. On the other hand, I think it's a sure win buying the agency, at least that's my opinion, because the money is made selling the property today already. Propnex shares commissions of agents when they sell a new launch today, and if the new launch is selling so well, the profits will flow to the agency right away. If you'd like to find more, I have a previous video on Propnex. Check it out over here, and right now, my position on Propnex is up 20%. Let me recap the list so far. The fifth biggest position I have is Tencent. Then number 4 is IFAST. Number 3 is Mapletree Industrial Trust. Number 2 is Propnex. And that leads to the biggest holding I have right now, who I did not set out to be the biggest holding. It has climbed to the top simply by appreciation, and this is none other than Palantir. Before I get further, I'd like to share honestly also that if you were to start today, I do think Palantir is expensive. A lot of things need to go right for this price to hold up. And while there could be further upside surprises, I wouldn't start out my journey today. I bought Palantir way earlier at around 25 to 30 US dollars. Let me share with you transparently my journey. On the left hand side, you see I have a lot of buy. That was before Palantir was so hyped up. Money is made in the buying. Sometimes you buy already, it doesn't go up. It happens to everybody. And sometimes you're lucky, you buy already, it shoots up. It looks as if I've been selling everything, correct? Like so many sell. But as I've shared with the community, as share price climbed up, I trimmed very gradually. I've kept a large part of my holdings, which is around 75%, right up to today. Big swing up, big crash down, doesn't matter. Chill and ignore it. Right now for my position in Palantir, I'm up 357%. This explains a large part of my trading portfolio gains, which have continued to balloon. And that leads to an important lesson. When it comes to investing, diversify. If you feel stock picking is too much of a work, there's too much headaches, too much heartaches, then go with broad-based, diversified investments. That's what I do for private clients also. But if you do like stock picking, based on your personality, then again, I would suggest to diversify. Don't go all into one company and hope that it goes up by 300%. It doesn't work that way. The truth is we don't know who would do the best next year. So if to plant many seeds, correct? Or if the one that you planted doesn't grow well, we cannot control that also. And when what you own starts to go up, the trick is to keep holding on to it. Real money is made in holding on and owning the stock long term. This has been mentioned many times by Charlie Munger and Warren Buffett. They have held on to Apple long enough, even though they've started cutting back on it recently. But it reinforces the message again, the real money is in holding on and thinking long term. Hopefully this message resonates with you, and as always, let me invite you to my previous video which connects to today's discussion. Let me invite you there, and I'll see you in a future episode too. Take care as always, goodbye.